Hello, I hope you're well. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am super excited about today's video because I am participating in my first ever readathon, and in this video we're going to be talking about my overly ambitious TBR. But let's be real, what TBR isn't overly ambitious? The readathon that I'm participating in is the History Challenge, which is hosted by Emma over at A Cup of Books, Jenny at Bookish Shenanigans, Justin at Triumphal Reads, and Justin from Ghost Reader. I will link all four of their channels in the box below. The readathon takes place in the last 2 weeks of August, and the idea is that you read at least one book of history nonfiction. However, there is also a nifty little bingo card with 16 optional prompts that you can also try to check off during those 2 weeks. And me being the overly ambitious person that I am, and also being a total history nerd whose heart fluttered when she discovered this readathon, I'm trying to cross off all of the prompts. However, I am not crazy enough to think that I can read 16 books in 14 days while also working a full-time job. So, each of the books on my TBR are going to work really hard. They are going to cover as many prompts as humanly possible. With that, let's get started on this TBR. The first book on my TBR is Too Much: How Victorian Constraints Still Bind Women Today by Vorona Cote. This book is a cultural history of this notion of the hysterical woman, or women being excessive physically, emotionally, spiritually, etc., 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 that took hold during the Victorian era in particular, but was probably in place before then, and shows how those notions from the 19th century still hold sway on the portrayal and response to women today. It covers quite a few of the prompts, but the main one for this is a macro or multidisciplinary history. This is multidisciplinary as it deals with philosophy, literature, sociocultural history as well. It also ticks off social issues as it pertains to feminism, but some other prompts that it potentially covers are contemporary history. One of the taglines is from Jane Eyre to Lana Del Rey, so obviously it gets very, very contemporary. It also checks off favorite period, Victorian, which was my focus in college. For my English degree, I focused on largely 19th century British literature, and because of that, it also checks off school topic prompt, and it's also written by a woman, so it's working hard for its money. Let's just put it that way. The next book on my TBR is actually a novel, which is one of the prompts on the History Channel. It's The Shadow King by Maaza Mengiste. I feel like I might be pronouncing her last name wrong. Let's just appreciate the stunning book jacket with the vibrant colors. The Shadow King is a book that I've been eyeing on my shelves for ages because of the stunning colors, yes, but also because of the subject matter. So it is a historical fiction novel that is about the invasion of Ethiopia by Mussolini's forces during World War II. I've covered a lot of World War II. It's another one of my favorite periods in history, but I know next to nothing about this chapter. So I'm really, really excited to sink my teeth into this one. That was awkward. As far as the prompts go, this one covers BIPOC author, it covers the historical fiction prompt, it covers a different country's history prompt because of Ethiopia, it covers a country on a different continent prompt because Africa. It also is written by a female author. So the next book on my TBR, Severed: A History of Heads Lost and Heads Found by Frances Larson. I feel Like, if I were to act as excited as I was about this book, you would probably think I were an axe murderer. I promise you that is not the case. I do, however, have a very morbid fascination with this sort of thing. I'm the type of person that goes on ghost tours whenever she's in a different country or city, who loves visiting graveyards, catacombs. The highlights of visiting the Tower of London isn't the crown jewels, it's visiting the torture chamber or the dungeon, whatever they call it these days. Yes, I'm a bit ghoulish and I love Halloween as a result, but I'm really excited about this book, which has been on my shelf for at least a year. It's a history of decapitated heads, essentially. So, shrunken heads, trophy heads, bone heads, bump. Get it? I love a good dad joke. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm really fascinated by it, but as for the prompts that this covers, it covers microhistory because it's obviously very focused on this concept of severed heads. It is also written by a woman, and I believe it might also check off the ancient history prompt. When I was looking through the sources and the bibliography, I saw mention of the Bronze Age, so we'll see if that actually comes to pass. Alrighty. Next up, A Woman of No Importance, The Untold Story of the American Spy Who Helped in World War II by Sonia Purnell. It is so up my alley. It is a biography on Virginia Hall, who was this Baltimore socialite with a prosthetic leg that seems to be very important. I believe its name is Cuthbert. Yes, one of those. Where was I? Right, so a Baltimore socialite turned spy who basically talks her way onto Winston Churchill's special operations executive. She infiltrates occupied France, sets up this massive spy network there. Vive la Resistance! And all of that. Except she's American. I've actually read Sonia Purnell's biography on Clementine Churchill, who is one of my historical girl crushes, and absolutely loved it. Found her writing style really accessible, so I'm really looking forward to this. As for the prompts, it definitely checks off memoir, biography, or autobiography. It also checks off host's favorite, as Emma from A Cup of Books mentioned it in one of her videos. It also is contemporary history if I need it, because it's 20th century. And then it also covers a country on a different continent, a different country's history, woman author, and also favorite period, because it's World War II. As I said, I have a lot of favorite historical periods, so I almost feel like it's cheating, but I digress. So yeah, really looking forward to this. There were 2, maybe 3 prompts that I was still missing, so I added these just in the event that I have the time to, because I really want to check off all 16. The prompts that I am missing are local and myth or folklore, and possibly ancient. So, the first of the books is The Women Who Made New York by Julie Scelfo. I feel like this might be cheating a little bit. It is an illustrated biography of women who made New York, obviously. So, it covers artists, actors, entrepreneurs, scientists, politicians, suffragettes. The list goes on and on, but it has some really stunning, really stunning illustrations of some of these women. Really stunning. It is, I feel like it's one of those that, like, even if I read a couple of biographies a day, I could easily get through this in time. It's just a really stunning book. The cover is adorable. I love that the Statue of Liberty has on lipstick, a Marilyn Monroe style beauty mark, and a tattoo on her forearm. But as far as prompts that this covers, it definitely covers local history. It's about New York City. I'm a New Yorker, and it is also written by a female author and also illustrated by a female artist. The last book on my TBR is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. It is another historical fiction, and when I was looking at what this book was about, I saw it described as a feminist retelling of Homer's The Iliad. There was nothing about that sounded bad. I was intrigued. So as far as I could tell, the main character is actually Achilles' concubine. If I do read this one, I think I'm going to listen to it as an audiobook. It seems to be very popular as an audiobook. I had to put it on hold on the Libby app, and it's telling me it won't be ready for like 3 weeks. So it seems to be very popular. I'm going to say that bodes really well. But anywhoozin, it covers a few prompts. It obviously covers historical fiction. It is written by another female author. It is ancient history, and I think it would likely cover mythology or folklore as well, although I'm not 100% sure. The Iliad has mythology in it, so I'm put a wager on the fact that this will have some too. That is the 6th book on the History Challenge Readathon TBR. 6 books is manageable in 14 days, right? Right? So, I just did the math. If I read 139.3 pages a day, I can get through all of the books. It's manageable, right? I am super excited about this. It's great to know that there are other booktubers out there who enjoy reading nonfiction as much as I do, and it'll be really great to be part of this little readathon, see what everyone else who's taking part is also reading. I'll stop babbling now as I've gone through the 6 books, and I'll let you go. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe so that you get a notification when my next video goes live. I'll see you soon. Bye!